Welcome to the Professional Edge. My name's Todd, tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner, host here on the Professional Edge. Appreciate you tuning in, and what we're talking about is when to plan. Now's the time to plan, and let's talk about investing for our safe and secure retirement. The time to plan is now. We're seeing some changes in the administration, a $2 trillion infrastructure bill, and we are also hearing some tax law changes, and that's going to affect a lot of our listeners here on the Professional Edge. So when is the time to plan? It is now to get ahead of that parade. So you want to get in front of the parade, be proactive, not reactive, because unfortunately a lot of people are reactive to what they do in their portfolio. Whoa, lo and behold, the interest rates have risen. Should I buy bonds now? It's sort of out of the gate. So what you try and do is get ahead of what is actually transpiring, and that's where you have a plan, a financial plan, so therefore you're not reactive to things and headlines that come forth in the media. So when's the time to plan or reallocate your portfolio? You got to ask yourself, when was the last time you objectively analyzed your portfolio? And a lot of our listeners haven't done so. They may have an old 401k that's been over there for 5-6 years. Don't you think the investment climate has definitely changed in the last 5 or 6 years? The answer is yes, and I'm telling you, it's changing right now as we are listening here on the Professional Edge. So again, to have that time to plan your investment portfolio, because there are definitely some laggers in the investment arena right now. A lot of different sectors are being put under pressure. One is technology. A lot of people thought, hey, I can just put it in tech. Tech's always going to win, and I'm going to be fine. I can fall asleep at the switch, and I'll be okay at the end of the day. I'm here to tell you that's not it. Is it active management on planning? Well, no. Active management is I'm going to buy and trade, and test after test, or analysis after analysis, white paper after white paper says that adds about no value, because 90% of your investment return is based on the allocation of your portfolio. Let me repeat that one more time. 90% of your return is representative of the allocation within your portfolio. So again, when is the time to plan and reallocate your portfolio? It's not daily, it's not weekly, it's not reacting to headlines. It is this portfolio in line with your risk tolerance, number one, number two, with your income needs in retirement, and number three, what is the change in the macro economy, and how can I take advantage of that based on my own risk tolerance? So those are the things that we do at estate management counselors, and we have a very candid conversation. It's not portfolio A, B, or C like some of the 1-800 firms that you go to, or even the household name brokerage firms. They have portfolio A for our aggressive investors, B is more moderate, and C is our conservative portfolio. Sign here, press hard, yellow copy's yours, and you're a number. Well, that's not what we do at estate management counselors. For each individual client, we design their portfolio based on their own individual tolerance for risk and their objectives, taking into account what their tax plan is as well. That's going to become a significant differentiator, because these brokerage firms are not licensed to give you tax advice. And again, how can you make any financial decision without taking into account the tax implications? So again, to have that conversation get started, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So when to plan your new contributions going into your 401k, sit down, analyze what you're actually in. A lot of our listeners, before they have a very candid conversation with us, are in these life cycle funds, or a 2020, a 2035, a 2045 life cycle fund. Well, it sounds easy, hit the easy button, but we can show you where that might not be the best strategy. We've seen individuals come in and they have 100% put to 2040 life cycle fund, and that's all they've done. That's all their contributions are going into that one life cycle fund. Now, to understand what a life cycle fund is, it is an amalgamation of different sectors: large cap, large blend, large growth, large value, international, some bonds, small cap, whatever, technology. It's just a mess of different things in there, and supposedly this is designed for the risk tolerance of somebody being in the 2040 retirement date. So that's all well and good, but hitting the easy button on that and putting 100% of your allocation is not really a plan. That's a default to being lazy. I'll call you out on that. And that's where you need to take a more active role in your planning for your safe and secure retirement, because your retirement is your responsibility. If you don't get there, it's on you. Social Security is not going to pay for your safe and secure retirement. It's only going to account for a third of your retirement income that you're going to need. So again, when is the time to plan? It's now, to make sure that you are on track for that safe and secure retirement. Make sure you're doing the right things, not overpaying your taxes, and put these three things together. 1 is your investment plan, 2 is your estate plan, and 3 is your tax plan. And what we've done at Estate Management Counselors is put together what is called the bundle, and you can get the information from that by going to our website, emcthebundle.com. That is Echo Mary Charlie, thebundle.com. Put your information in there, and we'll give you the details on this, on putting your estate plan in place, getting that planning done, getting your retirement planning done. Are you on track to accumulate enough money, or if you're in retirement, to make sure that you don't run out of money before you run out of time. And number 3, your tax plan, because this administration has already announced that it will adjust the tax code. And why don't you get ahead of things and see what you can do to figure out what the plan will be if certain provisions are passed. It will be dynamic, and it will affect a lot of our listeners here on the Professional Edge. So again, to take advantage of those 3, if you bought them outright, would be north of $10,000 in professional fees. We have discounted that down to that $3,000 mark. Sounds like a lot, but again, I guarantee it. It is a huge bargain to get you to get your planning done. So when is the time to plan? The time is now. So again, you can visit emcthebundle.com. That is Echo Mary Charlie, thebundle.com. So when do we need to plan? Well, we need to plan right now for our retirement. That is our listeners who are gainfully employed. They're 50, 55 years of age, or 60. They want to be on the glide path to that safe and secure retirement. So when we plan, let's think about this for a second. Do we just take your portfolio value the way it is, add up what you contribute, get the company match, and apply a 7% or 8%, whatever percent return that you think you're going to get, and just multiply that out, and then get to the accumulation phase and say it's all well and good? The answer is no. That's not being realistic when you're making your plan. The better plan is to do a Monte Carlo analysis, which is we take the software takes and says, over the next 20 years, what is my random rate of return given those 20 years? Because we know the market can go up, it can go down, so it's not going to be a steady 7. What is my probability of success of not running out of money before I run out of time? So it takes into account this sequence of return risk. And what I mean by that is, if you start your retirement, think back just a little bit, from 07 to 09, the market went down by over 50% in 2 years. So if you retired at the beginning of 2007, then within 2 years, if you had not withdrawn anything from your portfolio, it would have dropped in value by over 50%. So you're thinking and you're scratching your head and you're saying, wow, I worked for 30 years. I accumulated $1 million. I started my retirement and now I'm at $500,000. How is that going to affect you emotionally? Well, this is where the Monte Carlo analysis comes in, and it says, here's a baseline where your portfolio could be the median, or it could be as worse as or as bad as this value, or it could be as large as this other value. So it gives a range based on that probability of where that portfolio can be over this 1,000 random rates of return and sequence of return risk. It addresses that. So when is the time to plan for the sequence of return risk? Well, it's now. What is that probability? And if you are honest with your portfolio, do you understand what the maximum drop can be within your current portfolio? That's a number which is sort of enlightening to the individuals that we talk with down here at the Cunningham Center or via a Zoom call. We put their portfolio in and we say, you know what? Got $1 million portfolio. Congratulations. You've been a great steward of your money. And looks like you're on track for that safe and secure retirement. But then when we do that analysis, we then come back to them and say, are you okay with a 10% drop in your portfolio? Would you be okay? They sort of shake their head. Yeah, I'm a long-term investor. And then you say, okay, would you be okay with 20%? That's a $200,000 drop in value. Well, they sort of move around in their chair a bit, and I would get concerned. Okay, that's fine. And then we look at it and we say, okay, what about a 30% drop in your portfolio? And they're done. We would adjust something. So that gives us an idea of where their tolerance for risk is on the drop. Now, that 30% looks like a huge number because it is. It's 30% of that $1 million, which is $300,000. And they are uncomfortable because most individuals have not earned $300,000 a year, let alone believe that they could lose $300,000 in, let's say, a 6-month period. Well, then we analyze their portfolio the way it is, the way it's sitting there, and we say, you know what? The worst quarter in your portfolio, and we show them it's based on our reporting, and it's an independent report that we base this on. And we say, you know what, your portfolio, the way it was or the way it is, a worst case quarter can be 32% off. Guess what? You have that exposure to that risk to where your portfolio can drop 32%. And they say, well, I've never looked at that. Well, that's why you look at it now, to understand your exposure to that risk and the volatility within your portfolio. If you've not done that and been honest with yourself, do give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. Because when is the time to plan? After it's already dropped 30%? Or is it now when we've hit some record highs? We know the technology sector's off, but the Dow just posted an all-time closing high this past week. And things appear to be okay. The stimulus checks are going out, $1.9 trillion. That's a big number, and it will have a future impact on our economics, guaranteed. It always does. And then we're talking about a $2 trillion infrastructure bill that's trying to get through this administration. So again, we're having $4 trillion of government funding that's going forth. So again, you got to understand what risk is in your portfolio and when is the time to plan for that risk or address that risk. The time is now, and to give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. I appreciate you listening to The Professional Edge. My name's Todd, tax attorney, CPA, certified financial planner, host here on The Professional Edge, going on to 5 years. Thanks for listening.
With today's financial markets, are you getting the personal and professional attention you and your money deserve? Clients of estate management counselors benefit from having one set of professionals advise them on their tax, estate planning, and investment advice. We call that the professional edge. Todd is a tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. With over 15 years' experience, he welcomes the opportunity to assist you in preparing for retirement, implement effective tax planning strategies, and to help you properly plan your estate. His radio show, The Professional Edge, is aired weekly on Sundays at 9 a.m. If you're interested in meeting with Scene, call his office at 877-654-9798. That's 877-654-9798. Do you want to feel more confident about making the right investment, tax, and estate planning decisions? Today, these decisions are more complex than ever. Have you thought about working with a professional advisor and not sure who to turn to? Not sure what qualifies one to be an advisor? Todd is more than qualified as a tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. Scene is with Estate Management Counselors. Estate Management Counselors operates as an independent fee-only investment advisory firm. They're dedicated to gaining a personal understanding of their clients' objectives and implementing professional counsel and advice to achieve those objectives. So take a second to talk with Todd to learn how you can benefit from their multidisciplinary practice where they coordinate their clients' legal, tax, and investment strategies into one comprehensive and integrated plan to enhance and protect their clients' financial security. You can reach estate management counselors and speak with Todd by calling 1-877-654-9798. That's 1-877-654-9798.